Galaxy expected Kenny Rain to react violently. That was the funny part. Within hours of House Rain publicly disowning him, every major network across human space exploded into debate. Some believed war would begin immediately. Others believed Reach would back down. Conspiracy channels claimed Kenny was secretly building fleets already. Several frontier systems openly prepared evacuation protocols just in case. The Galaxy had spent years building myths around the winner of Eclipse, and now everyone waited for the monster to roar. But inside the upper strategy chamber of the Reach Defense Academy, Kenny sat perfectly still. The giant holographic screen surrounding the room continued replaying Lord Rain's broadcast over and over, while millions of comments and reactions flooded public networks beneath it. Disowned, separated, no allegiance. House Rain had finally made their move publicly. Pines paced aggressively across the chamber while ranting non-stop. So that smug bastard basically goes on live television and says, this terrifying planetary ruler is not associated with us anymore, and somehow expects everyone to stay calm? Lyra sat against the strategy table, rubbing her forehead tiredly. The point was political separation. I know the point. Pines pointed dramatically toward the giant screens. The point still annoys me. Darius stood near the observation windows, silently watching transport traffic move across Reach below. Unlike Pines, he understood exactly how dangerous the broadcast really was. House Rain had not just insulted Kenny publicly, they had repositioned him politically. Now, if conflict happened, it would look like an independent planetary war, not a bloodline civil fracture. That distinction mattered massively in galactic politics. Kenny finally stood from the strategy chair quietly. Immediately, everyone looked toward him. Pines pointed instantly. Right. He cracked his knuckles dramatically. What are we doing? Kenny walked calmly toward the communication systems near the rear of the chamber. No anger, no rage. That somehow made the atmosphere more tense. The floating dagger beside him rotated lazily through the air while he activated a private communication line. Lyra narrowed her eyes slightly. You are not broadcasting immediately. Kenny did not answer at first. Instead, he entered encrypted Imperial communication codes manually. Darius noticed instantly .Earth. Kenny nodded once. The transmission line pulsed softly. Then, after several moments, the Emperor himself appeared across the holographic display. No palace ceremony, no guards, just Chaos Vale sitting inside a dark strategy chamber somewhere beneath Earth while massive star maps glowed behind him. The Emperor immediately noticed Kenny's expression. So, a pause. It finally happened. Kenny folded his arms calmly. I need immediate audience. The Emperor studied him carefully for several moments, then quietly asked, This is because of the Rain broadcast? Yes. Silence. The ruler of humanity leaned back slightly in his chair. You understand what the Galaxy thinks is happening right now. Kenny answered honestly. They think I am about to threaten war publicly. The Emperor almost smiled slightly. And are you? No. That answer visibly surprised him. Kenny continued quietly. I need something else first. The chamber inside Reach Academy remained completely silent while Pines, Lyra, and Darius listened carefully. The Emperor eventually nodded once. Come to Earth. Another pause. And Kenny. The ruler of humanity's eyes sharpened slightly. Whatever you are planning, make sure it changes the board permanently. The transmission ended immediately afterward. Silence settled through the strategy chamber. Pines slowly looked between everyone. I hate how mysterious both of you are. Lyra folded her arms tightly. What exactly are you doing? Kenny deactivated the communication systems calmly, then finally looked toward them. Watch the TVs. Pines blinked once. That is not an explanation. Kenny grabbed his dark coat from the nearby chair. And stay tuned. Darius narrowed his eyes carefully. You are keeping this secret from us. Kenny nodded once. I have to. Silence. Lyra stepped closer. Why? The floating dagger beside Kenny slowed almost completely. Because if the Emperor refuses, a pause. Then nobody can know this was even attempted. That line hit differently. Suddenly the room understood, whatever Kenny planned. It was massive. Pines stared suspiciously. You are terrifying sometimes. Kenny almost smiled slightly. Then without another word, he left. The transport departed Reach less than an hour later beneath storming clouds, while billions across the galaxy still waited for Kenny Rain's response publicly. But no response came. Hours passed, then a day, then two, and the silence itself became terrifying. Public networks spiraled completely out of control. Some claimed Reach fleets were secretly mobilizing. Others believed House Rain had assassinated Kenny already. Frontier systems quietly prepared for economic collapse just in case war erupted. Meanwhile, inside Kenny's mountain home, Pines was losing his mind. This is psychological warfare. Lyra sat calmly drinking coffee. No. She looked toward the giant inactive television screens. This is Kenny. Darius remained near the balcony overlooking the valley below. The older man looked more thoughtful than worried. That somehow concerned Pines more. Then suddenly, every screen inside the mountain home activated at once. Emergency Imperial broadcast. Pines immediately stood upright. Oh no, the holographic feed flickered alive, and the entire galaxy froze. The Imperial Palace appeared, not the public chambers, the sacred ceremonial hall beneath the palace itself. Ancient, massive, gold and black marble stretching endlessly beneath towering banners of humanity's oldest houses. Rows of Imperial guards lined the chamber walls perfectly still, and standing at the center was the Emperor himself. Caius Vale wore ceremonial armor for the first time in years. A massive silver sword rested in his hands. The camera slowly shifted, and then Pines stopped breathing. Kenny knelt before the Emperor, head lowered, one knee against the marble floor, hands empty. The entire galaxy erupted instantly. Pines physically stepped toward the screen in disbelief. What? Lyra's eyes widened sharply. No. Darius looked genuinely shocked for the first time in years, because the image looked horrifying. The ruler of Reach, the winner of Eclipse, the man House Rain publicly disowned, kneeling before Earth itself. The Emperor slowly raised the sword. Pines looked completely panicked now. Brother, what is happening? The camera zoomed slowly inward toward Kenny's bowed head while the ceremonial hall remained deathly silent around them. Across the galaxy, billions watched live. Some believed surrender was happening. Others believed execution. Political networks exploded instantly into chaos, and inside Kenny's mountain home, the Reapers stared silently at the screens while the Emperor positioned the sword directly above Kenny.